Hey y'all, before we get rolling, if you run a nonprofit, this is for you. Comfy Stone just released a free 90-day donor retention checklist to help you keep more donors through authentic storytelling. Get your copy at comfystone.com/checklist or click the link in our show notes. Now let's dive into this week's episode. All right, Josh, as a young business owner in New Orleans, I know you've heard of YLC, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to bring them on because we'll get to talk about their 40th anniversary that's coming up next year.
Wow, that's a big year. What do we have and who do we have coming on?
We have Alison Hotard, their executive director, and Josie Delaune, YLC president.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear what they have to say about this momentous occasion.
Oh, Josie!
Missions by
Thanks for joining us today, Alison and Josie. I'm really excited to talk more about YLC and where it's going next. I'd love to start off with talking about 40th anniversary is this year, correct? Or next year. Why is this important for young professionals and civil leadership in New Orleans today?
Sure. So in a time where you hear stories of individuals leaving New Orleans and that we're having a brain drain, us celebrating YLC's history proves that our organization for the past 40 years has been developing young professionals and leaders that stay and make a difference in our city of New Orleans. And so we are so proud of the history of YLC and what we've done for the city of New Orleans that we think it's best to honor our past to celebrate our future. And so with that, we'll be highlighting individuals that have been YLC members that have made a difference in the community, and just what they loved about volunteering and YLC and what they love about the city of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think that it just shows, we're here to stay. The young professionals of the city are going to keep doing awesome things as you guys are doing, and we will be able to highlight folks that have come through YLC that are doing really amazing things in the city right now. I mean, we have, civic leaders, business leaders, community leaders that are all YLC alumni. And so we'll be able to kind of look back, interview them, bring them back into the fold, and just get our current young professional group motivated to be those next leaders for the next 40 years.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I think that inspiration will be really fun to see those narratives and those interviews done, and also understand, inspire the newer members
Absolutely.
of the organization.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's just something that we kind of we haven't really had a lot of that recently. It just feels like people kind of are doing their thing. And I feel like just seeing more of that, put
Right.
on a pedestal would be
of course.
good. Yeah.
I think that we need to start focusing on young professionals more. In stories of business leaders and civic leaders, we need to highlight young professionals in addition to highlighting those tried and true folks, because the young professionals are our next leaders, right?
Stole a word. I'm like, you don't get to the top. You have to start somewhere, right?
Yep.
So to highlight them now just continues to bolster them up to be bigger, better leaders.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
anything to combat the brain drain we have going on
Right.
in our
Right.
state as a whole, even in our city.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When we started the podcast, we were talking about young professional leaders and giving them a stage. And that's what I've been helping Josie do, and she didn't know it, but always encouraging her to be the face of YLC and be on the stage and be representative of what the future of New Orleans looks like. And that's Josie. And that's you two also. It's so I think that's what's important, and I really believe that we need to get the voices of young professionals out in the city more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I also think that it provides, New Orleans is so much based on relationships. And so YLC provides a way to make relationships, meaningful relationships, networking. And we have kind of struggled with that a little bit since COVID. People kind of went away into their homes and their bubbles. And so that is something that we really hope that we've been working on since it was safe to do so, and that the 40-year anniversary will bring people physically together again, because that's how we know, that's how New Orleans works, you know, like we want to be able to do that for our young professional group.
Yeah, and it's like because like too, how is that kind of like going into the programming, you know, and looking at it from that perspective? How is that starting to evolve within like the landscape we have here in New Orleans?
Actually, we are asking ourselves that question right now.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing.
All right, cutting right here.
We are going to be doing focus groups and surveys of young professionals to see what they want, right? Because volunteerism now looks completely different from volunteerism several years ago, but at the same time, it's the same thing. For example, the Proud to Call It Home campaign. It was a promotional campaign to have folks proud to live in the city of New Orleans, and they printed bumper stickers and they did billboards. Well, hey, guess what? We have social media now, right? We need young professionals to come help us create that campaign on social media. Tell us why they love New Orleans. Or it could be another different way of volunteering. You know, it could be going and helping students learn about what's the new career paths that they have available in this day and age. You know, we're hearing that AI is taking over. What about those folks working with AI, right? We need to know all those stories. So we're going to be doing a survey and seeing what young professionals really want.
Yeah, because YLC has always been a place where young professionals can come and kind of answer what the city needs, you know? So it's a kind of a ground where you can come in a safe space with resources and leadership and create a project or a program for whatever the city is going through right now, you know? And so it, you know, with Hurricane Katrina, we saw that happen. With the lights on the bridge, we saw that happen, you know, when students needed specific things, we saw that happen. And right now, when we are in this, you know, really important mayoral race, you know, we were able to deliver on that and provide just last week a forum where we specifically highlighted all the questions were about young professional needs in the city. And so it just, you know, we're always looking for like, what's the next thing that young professionals in the city are going to need? And so we have to stay flexible and ready to change and move, which is a challenge because you never quite know what's going to come at you, you know, but also keeps it really interesting. So
Definitely.
That's awesome because I feel like especially in the young professional space, things change so much. And I feel like you're doing the right thing by asking the questions like, well, you know, like not keeping the same old guard of things, but like, like looking at like, hey, there's a good opportunity to change how we do things.
Completely.
It also sounds like you give them the opportunity to use either their time, their talents, like what works best for you. You know, maybe you don't have a lot of time, or maybe you're really good at social media or some other service. And like instead of traditional volunteering, you can assist us in this different capacity.
Absolutely.
Totally. Yep.
Yes. We had a young woman who did our social media for Wednesdays at the Square who decided from doing that, she's starting her own business to help create social media for music festivals or artists in the city of New Orleans.
Yeah,
that's great.
Sweet.
Yeah, we need more of those.
Yeah.
It's like what happened to them all? They all disappeared.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
Yeah.
How are you marking this milestone, and what events, initiatives do you guys have on board already?
So we are planning a campaign called Where Are They Now, where we highlight individuals that were involved in YLC through the years, talking about where they are now, and showing young professionals what it looks like to be, you know, what they started out as, right? And look at where they are now. And then in addition to that, we'll be hosting a 40th anniversary party in October.
A reunion.
A reunion.
Our 40th anniversary reunion.
I love that term.
Come on back.
Come on back. And so we are going to invite the founders of YLC to come back and we're going to invite everyone that has been a part of YLC through the years to come back to our party.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's been really fun to reach back out to those founders and just understand like their mindset when they were starting YLC and how different the city was 40 years ago, you know? So it's really made meet, like we have reached out to a lot of past presidents and a lot of past board members and things. And it kind of like has reinvigorated my support for YLC, you know, because it's just like everybody has their reason for being a part of it and giving their time and talent and treasure, you know. So it's been really awesome to meet with these people who are doing amazing things now in New Orleans, and sometimes not New Orleans anymore, but you know, we want to bring them back. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because I feel like, too, like, the thing that you mentioned, too, I think a lot of young people especially just want that community, too. It's kind of like you just, like, you're open up to the world, and you're just kind of like, all right, well, like, who's going to, like, you know, believe in me? And then that belief, like you just said, with that one chance of belief can, like, carry on a career. And so that, to me, is, like, pretty...
Yeah, you just need awesome. You need a champion, you know, and hopefully they can find that with somebody in YLC.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I want to go back to the founders because I've born and raised here, so I've heard of YLC my whole life, but I never knew, like, how did it get started? And I just recently learned it's only in New Orleans, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the oldest young professional organization in the country. So it's not a part of any other network or anything. It's a standalone. Yeah,
it's the oldest standalone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Treating young people right since back in the 1960s.
Wow. Okay.
Minus 40
years. It's not that far back.
Quick.
I'm going to bring it back.
86.
Yeah, just 1986.
1970, 20,
They didn't have the
1919. 19, come on down, everybody.
Any opportunity to use your auction voice.
Hey, come on, hey, you guys need an auctioneer, you know?
We do not, but thank you.
Do you want to talk about why it was?
Yes. So the Young Leadership Council was started because a group of individuals wanted to come together to create change in the city, and they didn't want it to be a social organization because there was already so many social organizations. So they felt that if you wanted to go be a part of a social organization, you could join a Mardi Gras crew. Yeah. These folks were down to help the city of New Orleans. And so that's basically how the organization got started. And their very first project, they met with city leaders at that time asking what was needed. And Prez Kabakov brought them into the room and showed them books of bridges throughout the world. And then he's like, you know what's different about all these bridges? They have lights on them. Our bridge does not have lights. We want to add lights to the bridges in downtown New Orleans to make it a feature so that when the city is on, you know, different advertisements, you could see the Crescent City
pretty
bridge.
bridge.
Yeah, this pretty bridge. Yeah. And like, look at what it is now, you know, in all the shots of the Super Bowl this year. The lights are very different from when we first started. I don't know how they're getting away with those lights because the stories of the original lights had to be like a certain wattage because of the planes flying over them, and like the lights couldn't blind the pilots and they couldn't mess up the boat captains on the river, so they had to get specific lighting. It's this very long story. Maybe aviation's changed
because, like, when you go to Vegas, you see that big old bright speed. You're like, what the heck is that?
Exactly. So it was very different back then, and so that was the first original project of the YLC. And then from there, they began with someone came to them and they said, we need a collective group of individuals that could help us market the city for sporting events. And so that's how the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation got started. So it's a spin-off of YLC.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Look at
Hit us with the history.
It all started off at this one
It all started off.
Right there. I love it. Yeah. We got a history book. Are you going to make a history book with us as well? You know?
No, but we do have a lot of our history recorded. And just through these interviews, it's been great to hear the stories. Because it was just 1986. You know, our founders are still around.
Yes. The 80s weren't that long ago.
Right, they were not.
Come on now.
And we've had a lot of other things. So you can see, like, that was the problem then, and we were able, the organization was able to deliver. And so throughout the years, there's been so many other things that we have been able to see as a problem and deliver on. And so like the One Book, One New Orleans organization also was a spin out of YLC. Like that was, we needed people to kind of get on the same page, start talking about positive things together. You know, the Youth Run NOLA came out of YLC as well. Okay. And then like those are very direct things that came out of YLC projects. And then there's other ideas, you know, like the Mardi Gras recycling.
We're
and
gonna need that conspiracy board with all the
yarn.
It
all started with YLC in the middle. Yeah.
And like YLC Recycles, which is a current project, actually got started because there were no recycling groups in the city of New Orleans, and someone was passionate about recycling, and so it started out at Wednesdays at the Square, and then they would volunteer at Mardi Gras, and now we have several organizations in the city that focus on recycling, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Real quick, guys, did you know it can cost up to 7 times more to find a new donor than to keep one you already have? That's why at Comfy Stone, we created a free 90-day donor retention checklist. It's simple, step-by-step guide that shows you exactly what to do after someone donates. From how to thank them to how to tell stories that keep them engaged and giving all year long. You can grab your free copy at comfystone.com/checklist or click the link in our show notes. All right, let's get back to the show.
Well, I know that like you are going to be doing these surveys to really kind of dictate some sense of what the future is going to look like, you know, 40 years on, 80 years, 120 years, you know. But, you know, right now, what do you both kind of envision it looking like for some of the future as you kind of take the next leap forward?
Yeah.
I think right now we are, for the immediate future, we're focused on the retention of young professionals. You know, for our city to sustain, we need to have people like us, you know, embedded here, interested, committed, you know, and that's definitely a problem that we see right now. People living, because, you know, it's hard to live in New Orleans. Like, it's the best city in the world, but it is hard to live here, you know? And so how can we create a community that makes it a little bit easier for someone to feel like they want to be here and that they see a future here and they can raise their family here? And, you know, so that's our immediate future. That's our immediate kind of goal for ourselves, you know? And so we're doing that through lots of things, like helping folks to find good career paths here and a sense of community and you know, having an impact on what is happening in our local government and things like that, you know? So those are the kind of ways that we are doing that. And so hopefully we'll just have like millions of young professionals, and the future of YLC will look really different because
20 million in the population. Just all young people, no one else.
They'll be taking care of us by that time, you know. So.
It felt like that after Katrina. We had a huge influx of individuals, young professionals that came to New Orleans. The problem is that they did not stay in New Orleans and took pieces of our city with them. To promote as their own, like, look at us. But we want to make sure our folks stay here and create a prosperous living for all. If we think, you know, we think about the entrepreneurs that were here all those years ago, if they would have stayed around, what it would be like now, right?
The investment back in the community.
Putting that investment back in the community.
How many more jobs they would have created in New Orleans, you know, again, because it all feeds off each other. More jobs, more people spending money, like everything builds from there.
I mean, there's always, like, there's this thing where you can cut your chops as an artist in New Orleans, but you have to leave the city to become famous. Like, we need to fix that, right? And we need to figure out a way to where those artists can become famous.
Right here.
And make money.
And make money.
Like, that's what,
that's
right? And so, I mean, I can go on and on about this because this is something that I've like felt in my soul and have experienced and has kind of been my career path my entire existence of like wanting my friends to stay here. just a general
10,000%.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be left behind, and
right. Well, first of all, I'm not left behind because I'm in the best city on earth.
That's what I'm talking about.
They're left behind.
Right.
They're missing out.
They're missing out because
they'll
they
be
left.
back. They're gonna get that. They're gonna get that signal.
I was having a phone call last night, and someone was like, "Oh, I haven't lived there in X amount of years," and I was like, "I'm so sorry you made that choice."
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have a better existence, but people, I want people to know that, and guess what? Natural disasters are happening everywhere. Why not stay in a place that already knows how to handle them?
You got your known knowns and your unknown knowns. What you know, you gotta know. I mean, it's like that. It's like, in North Carolina, honestly, it's probably not safer in a place that doesn't deal with natural disasters because they are not prepared for it.
They were not prepared.
Right.
So.
I spent the summer in St. Louis, and they had a huge tornado in May, and I was talking to them about how, I don't know how I could live in an area that has tornado. You get no warning.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like my 3 to 5 day warning for a hurricane.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have my routine. True. I know exactly what I need to pack.
You watch it grow, you're like, all right.
All righty. Let's gas up the cars. Right. Let's do the things.
Yeah. I think I was talking to a friend this week recently about the people that you just know are going to stay in New Orleans because they just love, and then there's those people that are you're just like, am I going to spend my time on you? Because I don't know if, and we just need to figure out ways to create more of the people that love it, will stay here, and so that's what we're really trying to do.
I was doing an interview this morning with the Advocate, and we were talking about what makes New Orleans. It's a Katrina piece that they're doing, and I was saying that, New York might have a heartbeat, but New Orleans has the soul. And that's what makes us different than anywhere else.
You came up with that on the spot?
Yeah, I'm really good like that.
Dang, okay.
Yeah. She might have you beat.
I mean, listen.
I do. We already had a conversation.
There's no competition here.
Right. Not against me because I'm always a winner.
Hey, you know what? I won't fight it. You got to go with the tide sometimes. And the one thing that you did say earlier that I definitely agree with is we had PJ Morton on a show we did a while back, and we interviewed him about what it takes to have the music industry here. And the big thing he said was why there's not a strong music industry, and this was a while back, but was that the music, to have a music industry, you need all these different individual pieces. You need publishing companies, you need record labels, you need recording studios, you need so many things. That's eventually you're kind of it takes a village to foster this one industry, and so it's you can build that village somewhere, and it can start with the young leadership that exists.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's cool. So you guys are doing it. You're at the forefront. I love it. I love it.
We'll see.
So, how can people follow along to see these events and all these things that are happening for the 40th anniversary next year?
Sure. They could always follow us on social. We have a lot of great events coming up where we are highlighting our role model class of 2025 will be celebrated at the end of the year. These are individuals that have made a difference in New Orleans, and we honor them as being leaders and forefronts for young professionals. So up to that event, we have role model series events where we sit down with that individual and we hear about their career. And we get to know a little bit more about them. We just did an event with 18th Ward, with Lowry Cruz, and all the work he's doing. Up next, we have an event at Little Dizzy's with the Baquets. They're so amazing. And then we have Jim Cook in his new role as head of the convention center.
Oh, wow, yeah. Big shoes.
And so, we have a lot. And then we have our leadership development series will be starting. 25 young professionals will be meeting 10 weeks to learn about being a leader in the city of New Orleans. And then, so you can find all of this and more on our website at ylcnola.org.
And we just, we have a lot of networking events as well, things that we haven't planned yet that might pop up before the end of the year. You can also learn about membership at our website, which is very reasonably priced for an individual. We also have corporate memberships that are also very reasonably priced if people work for an organization that has 10 or more young professionals that they want. It's such a great way to invest in the young professionals in your organization. And if you just really want to donate and give us some money that we can use to do all these programs, you can also find out that on the website.
Nice. Love it.
Great.
Love it.
Thanks.
Well, we like to wrap it up.
You got something else for us?
We got like a final question here.
Okay.
Hot question, hot off the presses. Hot take. I don't know if I asked this before, but because we're back in the YLC, I figured it'd be good to ask. You know, if you could shift your career path today, what would you shift it to? And it's like from a fun perspective, like.
Oh yeah. All right.
Okay.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are we talking about shifting it now or shifting it as a young like even younger?
Oh, like if you were younger, what would you have said?
Yeah, like if I could shift, like.
Oh, if you could go back to your younger self and be like, hey, do this instead?
Yeah.
Sure, we can go from that angle. I like that.
Okay.
Does that make it harder for you? Or are you hoping I wasn't going to say yes?
No, I don't know what. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, okay.
I think that makes it more interesting to think of
cool.
In my 20s.
You go back and you get in a time machine. You go back in time and you go talk to 20-year-old you, and then you tell yourself this. Yeah. What do you tell yourself? That's even better.
So many things.
Right after I give a couple winning bets for Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like Caesar's Sportsbook's coming out. So get ready for
that. Sign up immediately. I would like to work in some type of healthcare tech capacity. I think like technology interests me. I've always wanted to be in a healthcare or like service, like caregiving. I don't know the right word, but like somewhere that serves people. And so I think that would like check both of those boxes for me.
Okay.
I like it.
I think I would have wanted to talk myself into becoming like an entrepreneur, like being like more in charge of my own destiny, like I mean, my job now, I really love my job now, and I've always been in human resources. So I've always been like supporting other people reaching their goals, and I think it would have been really great if I would have been like more on like a business entrepreneur track, if I could talk to my 20-year-old self. And then I could have stayed in New Orleans. I moved away and moved back, and I would have definitely wanted to do something that would have like, a small business that would have helped the city through all the years that I wasn't here.
Like
I have
realm?
No idea, but like, 20-year-old me was much more imaginative than me now. So
you just need that little push of like, you can do it.
Like, it's okay, like you can do it. Yes,
I would say, as my mom says, for me becoming a doctor, it's never too late.
There you go.
Does your mom tell you that regularly? It's not too late.
Well, my mom's a nurse practitioner and she's Korean, so she checks all the boxes. So it's never too late to be a doctor, folks. Apparently.
I wish I would have told myself I was smarter than what I really was. And in that, I probably would have listened to my grandfather and been an attorney, because I didn't think at that time that I was smart enough, or an accountant. Those would have been my but like the fun me would have told me not to be so damn ambitious and just find someone rich.
The old classic. We're all looking for that rich.
Right. And
we're all
not
looking for that
be
rich
so
guy.
damn ambitious. Just chill. And then now it'd be quitting everything and being a stand-up comic. But that's like so hard.
Yeah. Hey. It's every day though, you know.
It's never too late to be a doctor.
It's
never
never
too
too
late
late.
to...
No, I mean, like, being a stand-up comic is like being like a minor league baseball player. Like, you are on the road 24/7 and you make nothing until you get up to the majors. But then there's always like new kids trying to like
knock you off.
Yeah, knock you off the bench.
It's a cutthroat baseball. I don't know what kind of minor league you're playing, but that's...
who are like trying to like undermine you and take you out. And trying to get better and get noticed, right?
That reminds me
so
of
it's
hacks.
a really it's a really like cutthroat industry, honestly. At least I think so, but I'm super competitive.
That's what they all say, though. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you just hear that a lot.
Imagine you like elbowing the other comedian out of the way.
It's more like, hopefully there's no pig's blood hanging up above the, I think the major skill at the time that everybody was like pushing when we were younger, that is like a kind of thing is like, oh man, that would have been good to know, was like just like learning coding a little bit, because totally. And I think like that would have been good. I mean, even now, even though like AI is coming into play, it's like no matter what, you're still going to need like someone that understands how AI works. And so being more mathematically minded, I think like that would have been, a great thing to tell myself, like, hey, take that coding class, and like, go down that a little bit.
That would have been really good advice.
Because basically I think too, it's like they always say like there's a lot of people that know how to code and there's a lot of people that have problems, but like those two people don't connect.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we know. We're smarter.
Now we just have to invent that time machine.
All right. Go back in time. Get a sports almanac and see what happens.
See what happens.
Well, we know what happens.
Just don't find Biff.
Right. Too late.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you guys for coming.
Of course.
Thank
Thanks
y'all.
for having us.
Thanks for listening to Missions Bayou, powered by Comfy Stone. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment, letting us know your thoughts and who you'd like to hear from next. We'll see y'all next time.